Hello dear listeners, this edition of AchtungMillwall comes to you in conjunction, in partnership with Pundit, the football quiz game, punditgames.co.uk. Go check them out, we retweet them a lot on Twitter. I thought, just as a piece of fun, I'll give you an example of some of the quiz questions that you can find should you buy Pundit for your loved ones as we loom into the introduction to Christmas. I don't want to say that, but it's true. Anyway, I've got a question for you. This is the kind of question that is typical of Pundit. You score goals by winning, by answering questions consistently. And these are the kinds of questions you might get. So I'm going to do one of these per show, just to give you a bit of a taster. It's punditgames.co.uk if you're interested in buying the game. It's a good game, actually, for the football head in your life. Anyway, here's the question. This Irish shot stopper, goalkeeper, started out at Nottingham Forest in 2001, but he never made the grade. He left for Chesterfield in 2005 and became a regular before signing for Morecambe in 2008 and making over 400 appearances in over 12 years for the Shrimpers for Morecambe, scoring one goal in the process as a goalkeeper. So Morecambe's goalkeeper from 2008 made 400 appearances for them, scoring a goal in the process. Now, I haven't got a clue, but I'm going to give you the answer at the end of this show. So if you're interested, if you don't Google it, if you're interested, I'll read out the answer at the end of the show.
You're listening to AchtungMillwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Birmingham. Accept no substitute.
Good afternoon, dear listener from the Den, where we have the visit of 8th place Stoke City against Millwall, who are currently in the bottom half of the table. Not good. Today's starting lineup, starting with the goalkeeper, Sarkic, with Leonard, Hutchinson, Cooper, new signing Norton, Cuffy, Saville, Mitchell, Bryan, Fleming, Nisbet and Bradshaw. On the bench, Danny McNamara, Murray Wallace, Evans, Watmore, Vogelsama, Marku, Essay, Bielskowski, and also another new signing, one Harding from Rotherham United. It's the Den's not as packed as it was the other day, that's for sure. Occasion may have got the better of Millwall fans, the casual ones who come here for Mr. Berylson's memorial fixture. But now we're back to league action and there's a few more blue chairs than normal. This is Michael Avery reporting in for Nick Hartnell's curry on his holiday bumps. And as usual, we will report back when anything happens. Come on, you lines. And ironically, before the game even starts, the Stoke City fans whack out a Gary Rowett, your football is shit. Ironically, I thought some Millwall fans might join in, but they haven't. They're obviously giving the manager a new chance. So let's just hope we have a good game so far, for the love of God. And obviously as well, Gary Rowett has been listening to previous AchtungMillwalls and really gone with what Harry and Fiss and Neil and all the other people who contributed, Matt Webb, etc. John Rankin, you list the shopping list of people who have been phoning in recently. But he seems to have listened to us. He's now playing three at the back, which is Cooper, Hutchinson and Ryan Leonard's in the central positions. Four across the midfield with the new signing from Arsenal, Saville, Mitchell and Bryan, with Fleming just behind Nisbet and Bradshaw. So he's clearly been listening. Is this the last throw of the dice? Do we know this? But whatever this is, whether it's the first throw of the dice, the last throw of the dice, the one that hits you a double and gets you into Mayfair, or the one that gets you out of jail if you're playing a game of Monopoly, let's just hope this game goes well and we collect those £200 of a win as we go around the board, because we need a win here big time. Not going to lie, that's a let-off and half there. Stoke City picking up on a really loose ball on the edge of the penalty area that basically Millwall just wanted to look at it instead of do anything with. He gets played out wide, down to the byline, cut back across, two bites of the cherry, and somehow two scuffed effort sees the ball get deflected out for a corner. That's poor from Millwall. The shot from Stoke goes over there, and I'll tell you what, if we're going to keep letting Stoke take every half chance and like pass the ball around and look up and nick it around, it's going to be a long afternoon. It's far too easy, Tony. It's far too easy. And the thing is as well, though, is that like basically they're getting to the edge of the box, putting their foot on the ball, looking up, and no one's even attempting to make any kind of tackle at the moment. You know, what's that, third time now? We're only 15 minutes in, 0-0. Free kick to Millwall on the left-hand side after Cooper gets taken down. Yellow card to the Stoke player. Whistle's about to blow, just literally on the edge of the 18-yard box on the left-hand side. Whipped in, keeper spilled it. Bicycle kick across goal. Cooper, Samuel. Oh! It's deflected over for a corner. See, when we actually want to play, this is what we're talking about. Bit of pressure. This is what we like. So now the corner's going to come in from the left-hand side. It looks like Saville's going to be taking it this time, so we stay with this. And Saville lining up to take. He looks up. Referee's obviously keeping his eye on everything that's going on. Fans are in the game now, which is good, but again, it's not their fault after that opening 20 minutes. Lofted in from left foot by Saville. Looks high. Goes up wide to Hutchinson. Big shots for handball out to Fleming on the edge of the box. And just cleared by Stoke City. Big call for handball there. Yeah, I don't think that would have been given. Remains 0-0. Another corner on the left-hand side here from Millwall. Saville swings it in. It's high. Up to Cooper. Headers it. Oh, touched over by the goalkeeper for another corner. This is better. This is better. This is what you want from the Millwall side. A little bit of actually putting the shift in. And you know, when we actually try and we look bothered and we actually want a bit, we're actually playing a lot better football and getting the chances. It still remains 0-0. A little mistake from Fleming now, where he brings the ball down falls to Saville, and Saville actually gets fouled on the edge of the area. So we've actually done quite well with that one. We are literally on the edge of the D, just about a yard left of the penalty spot. So that gives you an idea of where we are. As Vogelsammer and Watmore are being clapped for wearing a bib correctly in the warm-up. The referee is about to mark out the wall, and he's done the big white line, so we know where it stands. There's a few players standing over at the moment. Fleming, Saville, Bryan's just behind it as well, with Bradshaw and Nisbet just in the box. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 Stoke players in the penalty area. So I think from this one, they're expecting a follow-up or a spill or anything like that. So yeah, there's not a single Stoke player within, I'd say 30, 40 yards of the halfway line. Every single player is either in the box or in the D. So the referee's marked it back now. They should hit the target. I always say that if you're 19, 20, 21 yards out, you really should be hitting targets here, especially as a professional footballer, any position really. The referee's about to blow his whistle in mouth. He's telling the players to get away from the wall. Spotted down there by Fleming as he takes 1, 2, 3 steps back. Is he going to curl this in the top corner? Is Saville going to have a go? Who knows? But we'll see. Coming at the target. Fleming curls it round, keeper saves it. Spilled out, Cooper with a header. And a shoulder down by the defender. Everyone's looking for the handball. And a free kick for a late tackle by Tom Bradshaw. Moments gone, stage 0-0. And Millwall take the lead. A throw-in comes in from the right-hand side. There's a big groan, because no one knows what's basically going on. There's a couple of little flick-ons. It falls to the feet of the new number 7, Kevin Nisbet, who buries it into the bottom corner. And that makes it 1-0. We'll watch it again on the replay. Comes in, Fleming with the header down. It falls a nice touch from the left foot, rolled onto his right into the bottom corner of the Stoke goal. Stoke ain't happy. 1-0 Millwall. Half-time here at the Den, and it is Millwall 1, Stoke City 0. After a slow start by Millwall, where basically the backs of their heels were seeing the ground more than their toes they should be running on, we've got into it. So I think Millwall can say they deservedly should be 1-0 up, but it weren't for a few shaky starts at the beginning. I will take over Mr. Hart's normal half-time tweets of Chaps_89. We know Chaps, good guy. Energy, fight, high tempo. Couple of nervous moments, but great first half. Leonard has made a real difference. Norton Cuffy, a breath of fresh air. Sav outstanding and delighted for Nisbet, a super finish. Can't really say a lot more than that. Well said, chaps. I think, yeah, it was a nervy few opening minutes, as we've said, but we grew into it and now it's going. Ned Holmes, a new name that I've not seen so much so far. A shaky start, echoing what chap said. After a shaky start, Millwall have been much the better of the two sides and deservedly lead through Kevin Nisbet's first goal for the club. Stoke have not helped themselves by giving away too many set pieces in their own half. I think what's helped Stoke is the referee as well. Daniel Marsh, 92. Nisbet will get the plaudits for the goal, which was very good. But Bradshaw has been superb so far and makes such a difference to how we play. Has really evolved into a Millwall, or a proper Millwall centre forward during the past 12 to 18 months. Yeah, and I've got to agree with that. There. Mr. Nash, you are spot on there. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I can see so far. Not too many other people have done little tweets, but it's been okay. As I said, we're happy to go in at 1-0 and not really a lot more red. Fruit and Veggie. Red's a good name. Fruit and Veggie, I like that. Norton Cuffy looks so much more dangerous on the right. An enjoyable half of football. I think we're watching a different game, Fruit and Veggie, but enjoyable half of football, that's all we want to see. Us have a pop. Paul, can't argue with that first half performance. Well, as I say, you take out that 15 minutes for, I think you're right. Half time at the Den, says Richard Cowley, and a very different vibe to last Sunday. Clapped off at the break. Nisbet's goal the difference. So yeah, I think you can see there from the half-time tweets what everyone thinks. Pull your finger at Millwall when you actually play some good stuff for the crowd behind you. 1-0 Millwall. Corner to Millwall now on the left-hand side in the opening minutes of the second half. 48 minutes in. The referee already having a chin wag with Cooper, who looks about 9 foot taller than him. But he's obviously telling them to keep their arms down in the argy-bargy, which you know what's going to make. You know what's going to happen now. Now he's pointing at Cooper. He's going to give a free kick against Cooper straight away. You just know it, don't you? So he's watching them. Corner's about to come in from the left-hand side. Looks like Brian's taking it. Stoke player goes down in the box. Cooper gets up well. The ball drops. And it's just hoofed up in the air. Still in play. Hutchinson and the Stoke player on the outside, just in front of the linesman. Saville does well to win him back. Plays inside to Hutch. Cleared by Stoke City, who now break down the left-hand side. And well won back by Billy Mitchell. Good stuff from Millwall, that actually, to keep it all pegged in. We actually started the half pretty fresh. I think that bloke there says it quite well. There's a little bit of miscommunication with Millwall. A ball gets played over the top by Stoke City, who are through on goal, who are running towards goal. They're about sort of 12 to 15 yards out. Millwall try and get back to cover. The ball has a shot, but it's dinked over the bar. That bloke might say what we're all thinking, but that's a proper let out of jail job, isn't it?
Yeah, big time, yeah.
Big time. Stays 1-0. And I'll tell you what, how ominous, as the sky is getting greyer, they nearly score. How poetic. It remains 1-0 Millwall. It's moments like this, you feel sorry for our pod father, Nick Hart. The thunder and lightning scaring away the pigeons from Birdshit Corner. The 1 week he's not here. How ironic. Remarkable for Norton Cuffy and Virgil-Sama for Nisbet at the subs for Millwall at the moment, as we've gone from a 3-4-3 to more of a 4-4-2 to try and contain the game. Stoke are slowly getting more into it. They are knocking on the door and it is starting to creak slightly, I will be honest. A few of the through balls, if they were played better by Stoke, would probably have got through the back line if it weren't for some last-ditch defending. Brian, for a really good first half, he had to be fair, Brian, has been caught out a couple of times. Stoke shot from the edge of the box, and the goalkeeper, Millwall goalkeeper, not happy that they're being able to shoot. But this is their third, fourth attempt in the last 5-10 minutes where, they've looked quite dangerous, Stoke. They've just a moment ago, they had a break down the left-hand side and a cross, which there was appeals for a penalty and a foul. They were soft, but there's still appeals there. The through balls, as I say, if they were hit slightly better or weighted better, would put Millwall under more pressure. And I think Stoke, as we say, they're getting into it, and we either need a goal desperately to make it 2-0 and really put the game to bed, or we need to be tighter at the back. And as I say that, the ominous thunderstorm that's decided to get over SC16 as Rocky Saville on the right-hand side now does well. Dinks in cross from the right, ball goes in the air, headed clear by a Stoke defender, headed again, a ball is still in the air. Billy Mitchell with a good challenge on the edge of the box. It's not been a bad half for Millwall compared to the first, when the opening 10-15 we were shocking. It has been better, but great tackle there by Leonard. But And now the Stoke player who Ryan Leonard tackled is looking for a foul. It's been better from Millwall, but in truth it's been better from Stoke too. It's quite tense stuff out here at the moment. Coming into 90 minutes now. And it's still 1-0. One thing I will comment on is that Millwall's back line is a little bit ropey. I mean, the left back and full back positions have been sort of exploited a few times. And I'll be honest, if I was a Stoke fan or from Stoke, I'd be wondering why we haven't scored yet. So literally, and as I say that, there's going to be some 90-minute subs from Millwall with, it looks like Murray Wallace coming on for Brian and Fleming coming off for George Evans, just to really shore it up. So I think we're going to play 9 at the back for a minute, the way it is with these players who have come on. But yeah, it's been a little bit shaky, that back line. As I say, Stoke will be wondering why they've not scored. But Millwall have done all right this half. They've played pretty well. They've had a few moments. They have kept it as solid as they can. But a few sort of, as I say, shaky moments have got us gasping. Second corner of the 90 now. Oh, Harding is coming on. Oh, there we are, Harding. The forgotten man of Millwall's squad, coming off for Tom Bradshaw, who gets a standing ovation, and rightly so. Great performance by the Millwall number 9 today. Excellent work. And we've got the job of a corner to defend now. So I think with the exception of Bergelshammer, every single player on the pitch is a defender, defensive midfielder, or a defensive player. Nothing says panic than 10 defenders, ain't that right? That big, yeah, absolutely right. Ball's played short from the corner there to Stoke, into the 10. Corner whipped in, cross is whipped in. Is it going out for no? It's gone out for another corner. I can't see how that's a corner. But it's the third corner in a matter of seconds that Stoke have had. We're in 95 minutes and 20 seconds. This is going to go any minute now, the final whistle. The corner comes in, flicked on. They've hit the post in the last minute. They've hit the post in the last minute of the game. The referee has got to blow up now, surely. It's nearly game over. Jesus Christ, that was close. Stoke now playing some 1-2 football. The atmosphere is banging here. The ball's gone. Referee's got a blow. He's giving it. It's still being played. The game's still being played now. Big ball played long up to the front line. Dealt with by Jake Cooper. It drops to Stoke. He goes wide for a goal kick. Oh, dear me. Dear me. It's very tense. It's got to be over any minute now. We've got to be blowing it. And ironically, there's a rainbow in the middle of the pitch. There we are, dear listener. If that's not a sign of good luck, I don't know what is. If this referee does not blow this final whistle now, there is something seriously wrong with the game. Get this ball out, boot it long, and are we ready to go? The ball's up. The referee's got to blow now. We're at 97 minutes. He's done it. Whistle's in mouth. There you go. Come on, you Lions. 1-0 Millwall. Wow, what a roller coaster. Those last few minutes. Did you enjoy those last few minutes?
Yeah.
Whoa, let them come, let them come, let them come. Let them all come down to the end. Let them all come down to the end. There we go, dear listener. 1-0 Millwall. And here comes status quo. 3 points in the bag for Millwall's men. This is Michael Avery signing out on behalf of Achtung Millwall.
Here we go.
Here we are, oh, here we go. What a ball, how we're hitting the road, here we go. Oh, rocking all over the world. Listen to it, dear listener.
Achtung, Millwall.
Huge thank you to Michael Avery for a bit of live in-game coverage from yesterday's pretty good in the end 1-0 win over Stoke City. Listeners, I'm going to confess to you up front, I've only seen the extended highlights on Millwall TV. But joining me to give his I was there expertise is Graham Payne. How you doing, Graham?
Yeah, good, Nick. Yeah, good to get a win.
Well, yeah. I was going to say pretty. I actually did use the words "pretty good win," but I mean, I'm going by the edited highlights, extended highlights rather. And I've got to say, it looked like a pretty mixed bag. I don't want to be a buzzkill for anybody out there, but I was really struck from the clips that I saw, Graham, that there are still defensive issues that need to be resolved, I think.
Yeah.
But we seem to look a lot better going forwards. How did you see the game? What was your take on yesterday's win, mate?
First half, very good. Like the two, the five at the back with two proper wing backs, as I call it. It seemed to work.
Yeah.
The two up front, I like that. And the first half was what has been said many a time. Millwall chaos. We got the goal. Nesbitt took the goal. Smart finish. Second half, they made 4 subs at half time. Totally changed the way they were playing. And the drop off, I don't know. I've said it on the chats, but I think we've got issues with fitness and all, because the drop off in the second half was just, I'm not sure. I think we may have had one attack in the second half, but I mean, it was just, I mean, I'm not picking on one bloke, but Joe Bryan, he was puffing off for about 60 minutes because he was outside of the pitch. And they sensed that, and they were bombing down our right side for a lot of the second half. But I do think there is concerns about the fitness. But
I've seen that mentioned. I've seen it mentioned around the obviously I got home listeners last night from holiday, so I've been away for the week. So I was picking up the pieces last night. But I picked that up, Graham, fitness. And I want to come back to that because one thing I did strike me, there was 4 changes, starting lineup, Sarkic, a back three of Ryan Leonard coming into the team, Cooper with his new contract signed this week, and Hutchinson. Then we've got the new boy, Norton Cuffy. Come back to him in a moment. Joe Bryan, you've mentioned already. Saville, Mitchell, Fleming, and then a front 2 of Tom Bradshaw, Kevin Nisbet, scorer of the goal, which was a really well taken strike, I thought. Some really good skill on the ball in that first half. You've mentioned fitness. A lot of people have been saying the same things online. And I was struck by Gary. I don't know if you've seen Gary Rowett's post-match interview, because obviously last week was last week. A lot of words got said that I think have, cut him to the quick slightly, Graham. But whether it's deserved, whether the abuse is deserved, or whether the criticism is, which I think is probably more to the point, that I think that was deserved, whether it's expressed in a way that's always for the best, I don't know. But it's Millwall at the end of the day. You're not going to get the Oxford Union Debating Society, are you? You're going to get it put bluntly and to the point. And that was what happened, in my opinion, at Norwich last week. But he's got a slightly what's the word? It's not passive aggressive. He's clearly hurt, because he says I'm still the same manager as I was last week, and how do you put it here? I found it somewhere. I'm still the same manager. You pay your money, you have your choice, or something of that kind. And he's clearly still got the arsehole about it, Graham. And I find that quite, don't know, uncomfortable, given what I'm reading about players' fitness. If good quality players, Joe Bryan seems to be a good quality player, but if he's not fit, then you're going to struggle in that last half an hour. And teams like Stoke clearly adapt, don't they?
Yeah.
Which we don't seem to do so well.
No. I think you're right. I think he is. He obviously is pissed off with what was said at Norwich last week, and that seems to be his favourite saying at the moment about paying your money. You can take your choice, but I think questions have to be asked about the fitness. I mean, what went on in pre-season, because they don't look fit, and they do seem to gas after about 60 minutes. And he stood out like a sore thumb yesterday. Most people sitting around me were saying the same thing.
He looks done for.
Yeah, not just Brian, but the whole energy of the side. The drop off from the first half to the second half was just, quite. You could see it. It was quite evident.
Well, the questions that I have, and I'm only going by the extended highlights, which give a little bit more of a picture. There was no full match coverage, so I've only gone by the 10-minute clip that Millwall put on. But it's notable that there's, I think you said already, that it seemed like bombardment by Stoke in the second half, and I've written that we seem to be clinging on like we're a lower league FA Cup tie, playing against a higher placed club. We're clinging on for grim death. The commentator, it wasn't Max or Carl, it was like a generic commentary they've got on there, says, where have Millwall been in this second half? So I've written great question.
I've seen that, because that was on that 10-minute highlights. I've seen that. That was on Sky do them as well. And that was a comment I was going to pick out what the guy said, where were Millwall in the second half? Yeah.
So, I mean, and I've written passive indignation by Gary Rowett, which I don't think I think that's misplaced, because I think, as he calls them, you pay your money, you make your choice. Yes, people do pay good money to go and follow Millwall. A lot, 1,900 went up to Norwich last week. We've had, including Stoke yesterday, 15,000 at the Den, and various other full houses that you and me have been in the ground for over the previous months. I think people are entitled to call it when they see, call bullshit when they hear it, or when they see it, because that's the essence of the transaction. I think his indignation is a bit misplaced, given that we've clung on pretty much for a decent win over a decent side, I think. But, we've dodged a few bullets on occasion. I mean, some of the chances that Stoke missed yesterday, Graham, look like absolute howlers. How we've escaped that final moment, hit the post from the corner.
And the guys,
I mean, how did we dodge that? I mean, there must be.
We thought it
must be the gods of Bermondsey in the sky that have taken a hand in it, like Olympus.
Because it hit the post, and the guy's standing there, and he completely misses it, doesn't he? I mean,
he's put it wide.
And also Sarkic pulled off a brilliant save towards the end. I said that's in, and he took off and tipped it round. So I think that was his best game.
That was a deflected shot.
Yeah, I think that's
deflected shot as well. So he did well.
I think that's his best game I've seen him, because I think he's looked a bit shaky, but he was okay yesterday. With his catching, and even his kicking was better. So I think that was his best game he's had since coming to the club. So.
I mean, we seemed to make a nervy start. There was an early chance for Stoke where there was a ball in from the left. I think their man got down the wing. It split the defence. It was a ball over the top, cross in from the left side, and they seemed to have two men free. And again, I would call that a howler if I was a Stoke fan. How they've not put that in the net, I don't know. But we dodged a bullet there. But then we then seemed to press on and bring, as others have said, you've said it, Millwall chaos to the table, where we've played quite well. I mean, it was a few great things to see I've written down here, which is great to see a traditional Jake Cooper header, which I can't remember the last time I saw. It got saved, so but he's got it behind it on power on target. Great to see a traditional Jake header, well saved, and great to see a traditional Zian free kick on target, also, in fairness, well saved. So, two great things to see there. I mean, obviously I haven't seen the bulk of the half, but it looked like we were a little bit more at it than on the front foot, I think, as Gary Rowett was calling for. So we seemed to take the game by the scruff of the neck in the first half.
Yeah, we did. There was another free kick where they didn't show in the highlights that Fleming took from out wide, and he took another shot and it fizzed in, and the keeper saved that as well, but they didn't seem to show that one. But the two wing backs in the first half was, bombing right on, and that Norton Cuffley was getting down the line. So, I mean, they're, to me, that's in all the time he's played five, that's the first time ever, really, we've had two proper, what I call wing backs, playing the system. Not fill-ins, no disrespect, Danny McNamara, Murray Wallace. I suppose Scott Malone wasn't too bad, but them two are proper, what I call wing backs, and can play the system. And it was good to see.
What did you make of Norton Cuffley?
Yeah.
Norton Cuffley looked good?
He looked good, yeah. He looked good. I think they took him off in the second half, maybe because he's not had much football, I don't know. But
much game time.
I was surprised. We were surprised when he went off. But he changed the system then, and he put Leonard, who was excellent yesterday, Leonard. He really was. It made such a difference having him in the three at the back. I know he takes a lot of stick, Murray Wallace, but Leonard, and then they moved Cooper over to the left-hand side, and he had a brilliant game as well. So, and they took Norton Cuffley off and put Leonard at right back and played four at the back.
Right.
But he looked he looked promising, Norton Cuffley, definitely.
Do you think it lifts the pressure on Rowett? I mean, is he out of the woods for you, or is he halfway in, or is he halfway out of the woods, Graham, for you?
I think he's still halfway in, Nick. I don't think it's completely gone because
No.
I just think I know I've said it. I think things have just gone a bit stale at the club with it all. And Matt, I know he's brought in the Snort Cuffy, but I don't know. I think you said it in last week's one. Are the players, have they had enough of Gary Rowett? I don't. Look at
No, as I mentioned, the post-match interview, and I find these interviews fascinating in a way because the football industry is a world where it seems as though your expectation of the customers that they will pay a lot of money one way and the other. You're kind of there as some kind of consumer that doesn't have the right to think of twice about criticising that. Well, you mustn't criticise the manager because he makes the point it's ridiculous so early in the season to be feeling the pressure. He said that in speaking to Max post game. And I do wonder what world they live in because, I don't know what his wage is. I don't know how much he gets, and I don't want to know, to be honest. Not my business. But let's settle on the fact, Graham, he's a highly paid individual in a public-facing role. Where at a club where it's historically known that the crowd will let you know quite swiftly if what they're seeing is not good enough, if the effort levels are not what they expect to see. So you can't be surprised when you're turning out turgid stuff, and then somehow you hear, you get the heat. You hear about it. We can always talk about the choice of words, but that's football. He's been around it long enough. He must know. But this kind of strange sense that you're not entitled to have an opinion, I find quite weird. It's almost like he was wanting to make his point back in the post match. As I say, it gave me an underdog in the FA Cup vibe in the second half, holding on for grim death.
Definitely.
Is there something to build on? Did you take the sense that there's something to build on there, or is it still job half done for you?
Job half done. I still think, I still think we're 2 or 3 players short. I still think we need another centre half, someone with a bit of pace. Maybe another forward as well, just for a different option.
Yeah.
But whether we get anyone else in, I don't know. But the squad is still down on numbers from last season.
The fitness questions is a thing. I mean, I was really struck by how much space Stoke were being given. They changed their tactics, but you're going to a manager at Gary Rowett's level's got to expect decent teams to change according to what they're starting. I mean, if only we could adjust the same way. But the space that we were giving, there were teams Stoke that looked like they could shoot from distance, and on another day they might have got 1 or 2 of those chances. But we're giving them so much space and time to. It's been a repeat theme, in this new season. We're giving them easy times on the edge of our penalty area, and then look surprised when shots are hard and on target or going in the net. So, there's much to be relieved about, but I took away a sense that there's still a lot of work to be done. And if as others have said, and as you've said today, that we're falling short on the fitness front, that is a major area of concern because what's the conditioning staff? What's Gary Rowett been doing? You can't keep moaning about the crowd having a dig at you if you're not doing these basic things. Other teams have prepped.
Yeah. I mean, as you say, enough people have noticed it. The fitness, it's not just 1 or 2 people. It's quite a lot of people saying it online. And as you say, what's the conditioning guy, the coach? What's he been doing? What have they been doing all pre-season?
What do you think to the? The obvious answer and the obvious reply. The point had been made that we've had a major loss in the close season with John Berylson, and I accept that. But I don't believe that is an excuse for not doing basic football work because you and me have worked in different spheres in our life, and you lose managers at times, and it's a very tragic thing to have lost someone so central to the club. But I don't see how that can stop you or would stop you doing basic fitness training and getting yourself match fit, ready for a new season. Because John Berylson wouldn't have been on the training ground, so his loss in that sense wouldn't have made an impact on that. I get there's an emotional loss, and I understand that, but it shouldn't have got in the way of fundamental stuff like getting yourself match ready for a long, hard season. So I don't accept that. Do you? I don't
No.
think I don't buy that as an excuse.
Totally agree with what you're saying, Nick. No, that sort of thing, just the basics of being being a football manager, football club. I know that they had to deal with what had gone on, but it shouldn't have. You shouldn't have lost track of what you were actually preparing for the season. So I don't know. I'd like to know what they actually, what went on, because I don't think they're fit enough.
Praise where it's due. I want to mention Kevin Nisbet's goal, because that really was a standout goal for me, Graham, and I'll maybe close on a positive, because there were some good moments, especially in the first half. Beautifully taken goal. I think this striker is a top buy for us. The way he worked the space to put away that little chance in the first half, I think, was masterful. I haven't seen that level of finishing from nothing, really, because it was a long throw. And isn't it wonderful to see a long throw generate a goal? Because I don't know when I last saw a long throw create a chance, let alone a goal. So that's there's been a few positives, and we've mentioned already the Jake Cooper header and the Zian Fleming. So perhaps let's leave it on a positive rather than be a buzzkill, Graham. Let's say that was a good first half.
I've already said two outstanding players for me were Jake Cooper. He was excellent. Some of the tackles he put in, and Ryan Leonard, and all that, he was excellent. And all. It was good to see him back. I don't know why he's not featured so far this season, but hopefully, if he can stay fit, because I think he's a vital member of our squad.
Absolutely. Good to talk to you on a Sunday morning, Graham. Big thank you for joining us on the show, mate.
Cheers, Nick.
And we'll be back after these messages with some more post-match voicemails for you, dear listeners. Stay tuned.
Achtung, Millwall.
Huge thank you to Graham Payne joining me on a Sunday morning. Just a few personal thoughts, and I thought I'd have a quick run through some of the post-match tweets that I've picked out. Dolbs it gets my sense. I mean, I, as I said to Graham, I said it on the show already, listeners. I hadn't seen the full stretch of the game yesterday. I was hoping to see the full match rerun. I was actually going to watch it for you, listeners. I got up early. I haven't got back from holiday last night, but I'll get up early, watch that. Wasn't on there, so I've only got the edited highlights, the extended highlights rather. But from what I picked up on all the second Dolbs, who summarises yesterday, he said he'd be happy to watch that type of football in the first half all season. But the reality is we will get more of the second half type of football. I think we ended up with 8 defenders on the pitch at the end. Rowett is not out of the water yet. Let's see how it goes next week. Next week he's at Birmingham. I'm hoping to get up for the Brum game away, so we'll see how that works out. I think I'm with you, Dolbs. I think that I'm guarded. I mean, obviously happy for the win. Who's not happy for the win, listeners, as we've just said? But I've got to say there are still some lingering senses of question marks and disquiet. Tony Monday, always with his own opinions. A big shout out to Tone. He says in a team of very good performances, Ryan Leonard was out fucking standard, says Tone. Out fucking standard. Couldn't fault any player really. Fleming looked back to himself, and Norton Cuffley will be a proper player for us this season. I'm really interested to see Norton Cuffley, and it's good to see, at least in the first half, Fleming looking dangerous once again. Finally, well done, Gary Rowett, says Tony. Well, these players gave their all. Yes, I can get that, whilst also raising questions, I think. I'm not an Rowett out person, listeners, but I do think there are areas of improvement. Let's leave it there. That's got to be made. And I think if they can improve, it's a good start. Certainly the result was a good start from yesterday. Tom S says Rowett has let Millwall Twitter pick the team. Let's see if we know any more than he does. I think that's another thing that slightly bothered me, that he was dragged kicking and screaming to this formation with proper players now. So he's been able to make the signings. So maybe that's the other side of that coin, Tom, with Brian hopefully fit enough to do more than 60 minutes, and Norton Cuffley, who's not played an awful lot of football either. But anyway, these are proper players in proper positions, and that formation does at least allow us to exploit some of our more attack-minded individuals. JP makes a point. I think we made it already with the conversation with Graham. When Mill win a game against a good team who also actually managed to have chances in a game of football, we're papering over the cracks, he says in inverted commas. He's quoting some of the downbeat comment online. He says, take the 3 points. There's no easy game in this league and it's never going to be comfortable for 90 minutes. Jack Clark says it was a very hard grind in the second half, but a great win and a big turnaround from last week. Senior players led by example. Leonard, a fantastic addition. Sav and Cooper also outstanding. Last one, I think, I'm going to pick out a controversialist by the name of John Kelly. Big welcome back to John Kelly. I always enjoy John's views and opinions. He says he's delighted for Gary Rowett. He's a good guy, humble, hard-working, and he didn't deserve that abuse last weekend. We've mentioned the abuse already. Whether you want the wording or not, I don't know. I think the criticism certainly worked, because now here we are with an improved performance, or certainly at the start, perhaps, of the start at the end of the beginning, to go all Churchillian on you, dear listeners. There we are. Going to call it quits there for this section. Just want to say a big thank you to everyone that's contributed to the show. Michael, Graham this morning, and now to follow this sequence, it will be the voicemails that have been submitted to us. Big thank you to everyone that sent their contributions through. So I'm going to close out there. I'm going to go up to Birmingham next week. If you're up at St Andrews, come and say hello to me if you see me. I should be in the ground, and be nice to get your take on where we're at as a side at the moment. So anyway, until then, till next week, big thank you. Thank you to you for listening, dear listeners. And it's Arrivederci Millwall. Bye for now.
Hello?
Hi Nick, Simon, just giving my thoughts on today's game against Stoke. What difference 6 days make? A performance where, to be fair, it was a performance. A formation that works, players playing in their preferred position, 2 up top, bit of fight, bit of fashion, bit of fucking arsehole, and hey presto, we pull out 3 points. Maybe Gary Rowett can actually learn a fucking lesson from this, but we'll see. Big test next Saturday against Birmingham. If we pick up a point from there, I'll be well happy with that. But onwards and upwards. Come on, you lines.
Hello, Joe from Chicago. Pretty happy with that win. Bradshaw and Nisbet need to be on the field together at all times. They clearly know how to play off one another. Also curious, did they look alike? Because they looked alike to me on the broadcast. Gary Rowett still talking a lot of smack to the supporters after the match. I would advise him to say less. Sarkic made that one very nice save. The ball bounced off the post, and it was clearly a Millwall kind of day. I'm a little concerned about Sarkic. He leaves his line way too early, way too frequently. But overall, a nice day. It's nice to see Millwall consistently beat Stoke at the Den. It's a good thing to be able to do. Nice to feel good about Millwall for a week. Who knows if it'll last. Cheers. Have a good one.
Hi, Nick. Jim Hackett calling here with some comments after the massive game in Gary Rowett's season. The biggest game that will show us whether he wants to stay at the club or not. Or Saturday, as I call it. I think nobody can complain after that today. I think the first half, we came out the blocks well, showing all the energy and the passion and the forward thinking. I think that was missing over the last couple of weeks. And I think our 2 wide players in the first half looked fantastic. I think it did show where we've been lacking, probably last season and obviously this season as well. But I thought Norton Cuffey on the right and Joe Bryan on the left, I thought first half they were dominant against their opponent, and I thought it allowed the rest of the team to play really well. And I'm really comfortable now looking at that. I thought Hutch and Cooper at the back as well had a fantastic first half and got most things right. didn't make a lot of mistakes, and going forward, everything seemed to work very well. I think Ryan Leonard going in there seemed to give it a bit of composure, and if I'm honest, he looks to be the pair of legs that we've needed since the beginning of the season. So let's hope that obviously he stays fit, and if he's going to continue playing 3 at the back or 5 at the back, then that looks probably at the moment our best bet. Obviously, the time will tell, but these are the sort of games where we play like that and everybody thinks that's it then, the season's turned around. But as all things Millwall, the second half came and it was the other way around. And I think whether it's fitness issues, which it could very well be, or lack of playing together, but our sort of team went back into their shell again, and it's not great. I think looking at it from the outside, I suppose, I think Brian ran out of steam, Nisbet ran out of steam. I thought Saville and Billy didn't get on top of the game too much, as well as they had in the first half, and that meant that we didn't get that front football and allow Stoke to come at us. But I think when you look at the changes Stoke made at half time, they've got enough in their squad to bring 4 players on, can actually make a difference to a whole game, not just, they can change their tactics. Unlike us, we'll bring a player on for the sort of player we've got. So I think maybe that's our future we should be looking at, where we can have a big enough squad to make changes tactically and not just replace like for like. But I think second half we got away with it, obviously, that they hit the post. They dominated most of the attacks. But again, it's about time we had a bit of luck, and I felt really sort of glad for Gary Rowett at the end, because I think he put up some stick. But you could tell later in the week, once he got Norton Cuffy over the line, everybody seemed a little bit galvanised. Everything seemed a little bit more positive. So very happy with that. And obviously the 3 points made everything. One mention, I suppose, for Sarchik and his fantastic save at the end. I think if that had been George Long, he might have saved it. But I think the shot would have been a lot lower and along the floor, which means he wouldn't have saved it. But yeah, good on Sarchik. It was what he's paid to do, and it was a fantastic save that, again, kept us in the game. And everybody else, I think, I can't moan about any of the players. I think everybody was a little bit up and down, but at the same time, that first half gave me lots of positive vibes to go forward with, and I'd like to think that we can all do that. Okay, Nick. Good luck then. On to the next one. Come on, you Lions.
All right, Nick. Dave Collins here. Hope you're well. What to say about today's performance? Well, a win. A win's a win. It's a positive. I thought Jake Cooper was probably man of the match. He made some really good last-ditch tackles. Had a great header in the first half, which the keeper made a blinding save, really. Nisbet, first goal, took it really well. No more than really half a chance, but lovely placement into the bottom of the corner of the goal. And the keeper, Sarkic, made a really good save late in the game. I think his confidence can only be boosted from that, and hopefully we might start seeing better of him. Probably it was a shot that Long would have probably let in. I don't want to dwell on that, but yeah, good save from Sarkic. Negatives, second half performance. Well, I mean, Stoke made them 4 changes at half time, and then they just dominated the game second half for me. Their midfield overpowered our midfield. In fairness, I know we talk about our wobbly defence, but the ease of the way that they just slice through our midfield, and it's happened in other games already this year. And I know, we like Dinori, we like Saville, but at the moment there's something drastically wrong with that midfield, because teams, when they step it up, when they start passing the ball with pace, when they start running off the ball with pace, they just slice through us, and it ends up, as quick as the ball goes up, it comes back. So we need to make changes, or we need to do something tactically in that midfield to shore it up, because at the moment teams are just slicing through us. weird start of the season though, because we got 6 points now. When you look at them games at the start of the year, Middlesbrough and Norwich away, Bristol City and Stoke at home, you would have taken 6 points for them 4 games. So although we've only really performed for 1.5 games out of the 4, we've probably got our goal out of them 4 games, which is 6 points. So strange, really. And I still think we're probably going to need a centre half on loan if it's not too late. And we just need someone in the midfield to step up and almost be the leader, because at the moment we just don't see anyone. But anyway, onwards and upwards. Come on, you Lions.
Hi Nick, it's Angelo here, mate. I was too depressed last week to phone in, mate. I wanted to top myself, but and then today I survived the 5 heart attacks in the last 5 minutes, so it's all good. Yeah, relieved to get the 3 points. Obviously, very scary second half, but yeah, listen, I'll take that every week, mate. The first half was fantastic. Back to our normal selves. No, I'm not going to say a lot today. I just want to say well done to Cooper. One of Cooper's best ever performances today. Some of them tackles he was pulling out were just unbelievable. Leonard, fantastic, looks fit. Touch wood, he stays fit. That tackle he done on the halfway line was out of this world, mate. Out of this world. And mate, my other standout was Bradshaw. The guy just did not stop running. I don't know how he does it, and I'm sure if we play him alongside Nisbet, he will help create opportunities for Nisbet, because you know Bradshaw is a pain in the arse for defenders. It's as simple as that. The guy doesn't stop running. Has to play. We have to play them 2 every single game, mate. Nisbet was he was just, you know, not his own fault, but he was just dying on his own up there. But you know, with Bradshaw there, mate, I can see things getting better and better. So yeah, just, you know, massive well done to the team, and them 3, Leonard, Cooper and Bradshaw, outstanding. And listen, well done to Gary Rowett. He took a lot of stick last week. He, I think it was more of a 3-5-2, because on the warm-up with Adam Barrett, there was only the 3 central defenders. So I think he was he was telling his wing-backs, play a bit more forward. So yeah, all good. Happy Saturday evening at last, yeah. So excellent. Come on, you Lions.
Hi Nick. John Rankin just called in after the victory against Stoke, 1-0 from Mercury Way. And hi listeners, and hi fellow supporters of the Lions Food Hub. And yeah, well, that was a close run thing in the second half. First half I thought we looked good. The way that Rowett's set up was interesting. Very important that the number 10 does a shift in that style of setup, because you're very light in the midfield. And I think Zian played better than he did certainly against Norwich and against Bristol City, certainly. He got the assist for the first goal, Nisbet took it well, and we looked good. Ryan Leonard played well, Cuffy played brilliant. Joe Bryan looked good, but he did fade away in the second half. So all in all, yeah, I mean, it was a solid first half and a good reaction. Second half, different story. Stoke made lots of changes. Technically, they looked very good. They were really moving the ball about well. I think I haven't checked the stats, the possession statistics for the possession on the second half, but blimey, I think they had 99% of the ball. I mean, we tried to make a few breakaways, but essentially it was just defending against an onslaught. I've got to say, I think a better team would have finished the chances. They had 5 or 6 very, very good chances on goal. One absolute sitter. In the second half, the guy just put it over the bar. So, I don't know. I mean, yeah, Rowett escapes from jail again. It would have turned toxic if we'd have lost. There wasn't, it wasn't a packed den, and there wasn't sort of rapturous applause afterwards. It was job done, 3 points, stopped the mini losing streak, showed a bit of fight in the first half, certainly, and a bit of die-hard defence in the second. A lot of work to do, but at least it's a win on the board. So, over and out. Come on, you Lions.
Hi Nick, Matt Webb here. After that hard-working, I'll put it, hard-working 1-0 win against Stoke. Well, you play 2 up top, see what happens. First half, much better than what I've seen over the past few weeks. And having 2 up top gives Nisbet a chance to find spaces and put the ball in the back of the net. It was an absolute great finish. Not because of the power, but it was more of the positioning, the placement, and just the sheer quality of that goal. But I was really pleased. I was really pleased the fact that he got his goal. And I was really pleased that the formation of 5-3-2 was used. Leonard coming in was a good decision, very good decision in my opinion. I thought it was really good today. The new boy did really well, and you could just tell he's a class above Danny McNamara. Love Danny Mac, but this lad from Arsenal, he's the next level up. So well done in obtaining his services for the year. Come second half, and then Stoke brought on the 4 at half time, which, well, to be fair, it was Stoke's second half, and if they had any quality in their final third, I think would have put us to bed. So in that sense, we did well in containing them, and we were lucky, obviously, at the end of the game with that corner that came in and hit the post. It was an absolute hats off to Sarkic with that save with a few minutes to go. It was an absolute blinder of a save. I was right behind that, and as soon as he hit that, I actually said the word goal. And then to pull out that save was, well, that was different class. That was really, really good. I was really pleased to see that, and hopefully that will build confidence in the boy that he comes forward. Yeah, no, we kept the chance of Gary Rowley football shit was muted today, only in the away section. It was hard working today, and that's all you can say, and that's what we want from Millwall. You know, we can accept performances that are not going to be great as long as the results. I mean, football is a results business, and you know, at the end of the day, if we've got a W next to our name and 3 points on the board, I don't care how bad we play. A win's a win, in my opinion. So I'm pleased with that. And now we travel up to Birmingham next week. I have to drive now because of the trains, which is fantastic. Love them. Man of match to me, I was split. I was actually split between Georgie Saville and Jake Cooper. I thought both of them were outstanding today. But for the sake of his open letter and how much he loves the club and he signed it on, I'm giving it to JC today. But honestly, Georgie Saville was a very close second. So we'll see you all at Birmingham. Come on, you Lions.
The answer to the question, the pundit question, dear listeners. I've never heard of this chap, Lucas Akins. Lucas Akins is Morecambe's goalkeeper from 2008. That's the kind of question, hard questions, to be found in punditgames.co.uk. Check them out. Another question in the next show.